people need to be aware of these things. So our job is to present both sides. You know, again, there's half truths, and be aware of the half that you get, because it may not be the truth. That's what we're here for, to point out the good, point out the bad, but no matter what, to give you the facts, to give you the truth surrounding anything. So as we proceed down through this article, and we'll put a link on our site on our radio page, and you guys can go to it and read it yourself. I'm just going to skip right down through it real quickly. Mark Bekoff leaned heavily on a vet tech, not a veterinarian, but a vet tech, and also a proclaimed force-free certified dog trainer. So I'm not going to get into the certification. In other words, who certified you and who certified them to be able to certify you. And we could keep that up all day long. But it's definitely just an opinionated, and it's an agenda. The entire opinion in the agenda here is to ban the use of anything other than I love you, I want to pet you, and I want to give you treats. Anything at all that has to do with that. So they singled out choke collars, prong collars, and of course what they call shock collars, which again speaks volumes of their lack of knowledge as to how this device works and how is it interpreted by dogs. It just, again, I don't know anything, so let me just scream as loud as I possibly can, and that will gain me attention. So as we go down through this, that's what they talk about. They go, there's all this bad stuff. They cite a research that was done, and I tried to look this guy up, and I didn't find hardly anything on this guy. A guy by the name of Anders Hallgren. And Anders Hallgren back in 1991. Okay, now we didn't switch the numbers around.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's 1991. 28 years ago, there was a study that he did. And the study was to determine the causes of back problems in dogs. Cervical problems and back problems, thoracic problems, lumbar, you name it. And he set out, and what he did was he solicited the input from dog behaviors educated by himself and chiropractors. This guy takes 424 dogs and takes his behaviors and takes his chiropractors, and 24 were dismissed for various reasons. So we're down to 400. And they studied and examined these dogs to determine, did they have a problem at all? And if they did, what was the possible cause? As it turns out, 26.87% of the 400 dogs had cervical neck injuries. So a little injury to their neck. Doesn't describe to what extent. Now, I will tell you this much, any animal, and it also goes into here, it's very vague. You don't know the ages of these animals. You don't know what they've all been subjected to on a daily basis. There's just these broad stroke type assumptions that are made in this, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So 26.87% of the 400 had some sort of cervical issue. And then it goes further down and talks about, could be possible causes, and it says jerking and pulling. There seems to be a connection between the collar, how it is handled, and back problems. Between the collar is handled and back problems. Pulling and jerking on the leash affect especially the neck, throat, and the dog. Okay, and then it goes on to say 91% of the 26.87%, it appears as though whatever issue they have, and again, we have no idea what degree, was supposedly caused by jerking and pulling on the leash. And I can believe that. I honestly can. I owned a vet hospital, and I understand the anatomy of the dog myself. I know that its entire center of gravity is right behind, which is going to be very basically where the end of the neck connects to the shoulders. And that's your center of gravity. And that's where all the forces in your body come together at that one little junction. So if you pull hard, pulls hard, or if the dog pulls just a little bit at a different angle, of course, an injury can happen. Humans hurt their backs on a daily basis. They use legs, but of course you don't. You bend over, grab the storm, you lift it, and all of a sudden you go, ow. How many times do you hurt your neck? I turn my head to the right in a real hurry, and suddenly you get a little catch in your vertebrae back there, pinching.
Or you just simply sleep wrong.
Yep, you sleep. You go in, and so this can happen. But anyway, there's substantial in this. It was 28 years ago. We all get it that a dog can indeed be hurt if you don't use it properly, you don't use the collar properly. I don't think it's a 28-year-old study is enough to ban leashes, choke collars, thong collars, remote training collars, you name it.